Demoulding might seem like a simple task, but when you're actually doing it, you can feel quite frustrated or insecure just because it doesn't really work the way you want it to. So first, the latex is also stuck, so you can't just yank at the plaster. Get a chisel or screwdriver and a wee hammer. Go along the seam line and just barely tap it. The form should come apart on its own, kind of with a gentle nozzle. I always go back and think I can do it with my bare hands, but I never can, and as a result, I broke it. Plaster just wasn't thick enough in that area. But I'm still quite determined to open the rest of it properly to see what, how it's gone. Now, when it's starting to spring, you'll notice that the seams will grow in a very even way, a very small but even way, and then you got it. You undid the puzzle of getting into the tight box you created. So hopefully this will pop off for you just as easily, well, just as it does here. If there is an undercut, it might get stuck, but this is just evenly opening apart. There you see it, you can do it with your bare hands. Now the part that broke, I decided to fix this by adding more plaster to it. So I put the form back together and held it roughly in the same spot so that it's all still connected, and just kind of quickly patched it up and made that weak area a lot thicker by just kind of carefully laying it up bit by bit, and kind of worked as a bandage. You don't want to let it go in too deep into the cracks. You don't want it to go through it, but fixing the outside of it is a good idea. Fixing the inside of it is a pretty messy job, so you don't want to do that. But for most little problems, there's always a solution. Now you can see the three parts and how this form kind of comes together. As I said, the first time you make a form, that's the broken bit right there. You got to just break in a form, and this is a bit of a seam from the broken bit, but it's fine. It's going to fit perfectly. So the details are in the latex anyway, so clean up that fledge on the latex and pull it very forcefully but carefully. Like, the thickness of the latex should be able to handle a bit of yanking. If there's any spots that don't come easy, I kind of pull around everywhere else and do those on the end, because you really just don't want to tear it. So you follow the tension of the latex itself, just pull it off. A little bit at a time, and it always comes. So there you go. I put talcum powder on it, just to prevent, it's kind of good luck to prevent it from sticking to itself, and that's its christening. So it was actually strong enough to stand by itself, but if you filled it with plaster or anything, it would probably bulge a bit, and that's why we've built this shell. So now it's ready to go. To hold it together, you usually can use something gummy like a big rubber band or old tire tubes. I've found that this kind of fit in this pocket perfectly, but I'll probably tie tubes around it before I cast into it as well.